Is anybody with me yet live? Oh yeah, people are here with me live, no doubt. Hit that like button. Now join with my space border. If you guys are not familiar yet with our podcast, I already have the playlist up right here up on YouTube. Ever since my radio show on Truth Free. What's up, Chloe? So I decided to start an all new. It involves the most groundbreaking work you could find out there. In fact, you know what? I'm actually flattered because there's people with a lot bigger platforms than myself that have caught on to information and the wisdom that I've been sharing. That what the universe has shown to me after years and years of exploring these topics, the universe has shown me certain things. And in the past, I have been wrong about certain things, but it wasn't really being wrong. It's like your footwork to the truth, right? So, ever since I've been revealing a lot of the plasma physics that is in the ancient symbolism and ancient writings, I'm seeing a lot of people that have a lot bigger platforms than me showing, exact things that I've been showing you guys, for a while now. So, there is one physicist that I found that also shares about certain petroglyphs, and he explains it in a very scientific way, and I can add the spiritual aspect as well, and that's Anthony Perrott. And there's a few others out there as well. You guys can go to my Patreon to get the more in-depth information about that, and you guys could see like a day or two after I share some certain things on either Instagram or wherever, I'm seeing the other platforms picking up on it. So you know what? I'm actually flattered with that. I just would like the recognition sometimes to get the shout out, and that's why today I'm even having on Katharina Sperling as a guest. Her husband is the late Slim Sperling. He passed away, but he was the one who came up with the tensor tools in the 90s, right? And then I got influenced by him and started my own version of things. And then I sort of have my own style of making raps. And people have even copied my own style now that I have. Even there's websites out there like the Mystical This, the Mystical That, like, doing the same, like the similar raps that I do with the copper and silver around shungite. And it's like directly almost like my website, but what are you going to do? That's influencing people. And uh, I found a few similar websites of mine, even using the name The Mystical in it as well. So unfortunately, that it's good and bad with that. But today, yeah, Katharina Sperling will be here at 1 p.m. It's raining out right now. 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we're gonna have an interesting interview with her. I'm also creating some new prototypes. We have a 20% off discount in my store. I never in the past had asked anyone to support like with donations or anything like that, but I've been out for many years, and lately it's been a struggle just to keep my websites up. I have one free information website, and I have my store. So if you guys, even if you all donated $1 or $2 for all the free podcasts that I put up and interviews that I do, we rarely get any super chats, and I bring some of the most world-renowned people, famous astronomers, famous authors, and my own groundbreaking research on a constant basis. So if you guys can definitely donate, even $2, from if everybody just did $1 that subscribed to me, it would seriously help, right? So I pay for my own websites out of pocket. There's no sponsors, there's no advertisements on them, and they cost over $1,500 a year to keep them running. And it's a struggle just to keep them running sometimes. When the month comes up that I have to pay, it's not easy. So there's a lot of websites out there that are getting traffic off of my name and things like that as well. So unfortunately, that's the name of the game in this world. And instead of being bitter and getting upset about it, I just you got to take it as flattery and just step up your game and continue what you're doing on your own path. and you guys can see a lot of the information that. Oh, thank you, Chloe. You're awesome. Also, if you guys want to, I really appreciate it, Chloe. And also, if you guys ever do get anything off my website, I give gift packages to everybody that purchases. I don't know how many other websites do that out there, and I give very high quality. I don't have any low quality products, so the gifts I give are going to be high quality products. Sometimes just as good as the product that you bought. So I always give the gift packages, and if you're a Patreon member of mine and you purchase from me, make sure you mention that when you know, there's a place you can write a little comment with your purchase, or message me privately. Let me know that you're definitely a Patreon member, and I will send you extra gift package as well. My Patreon is another place that you can support me, and you're also getting priceless information. So it's like it's not like you're just paying for something and not getting anything. I have priceless information and archives on my Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. And I really would like more people to go to that, because that's where I share the more in-depth information, and I could do videos and zooms on there, um, where I could talk about things I can't talk about on these platforms. And it's for people that really want to be there. And I'm sharing. I have a book of a series of 9 books that I'm writing, because I had over 1,000 pages. I had restarted this book 4 times already since 2017, because my information started to evolve. Because through scholarship alone, books, in my opinion, the kind of work that I'm doing, scholarship alone is not going to find the answers that I'm looking for, because I'm not just going through ancient inscriptions and ancient tablets just for scholarship. There's a goal, and my mission is about the transport and transmigration of souls, and to get us out of the samsara wheel trap. There's a lot of people here on the planet that don't even realize that they're part of this mission, that we're stuck in this recycling trap of getting clung to this materialism, greed, old earth vibration that we're in. And a new earth is rising, right? A new time is rising, where it's time for us to progress harmonically and evolve, or go to heaven, so to say, in a religious aspect, right? We lost the coordinates to heaven. And Jesus Christ was one of the beings of light that God sent here to bring us the coordinates to heaven. And I believe Orpheus was one of these men as well. There's been people like this on the planet. And they come from specific suns and stars. Every angel out there, every star is an angel. They're not people, so to say, but they can broadcast light, specific streams of plasma intelligence that creates life. But the vibration of the planet is what they receive, that reflects that energy back down, that steers the course of the creation as well. So remember, it is a harmony of spheres out there. If I can tell you that, what have I experienced, right? All the research in the ancient, ever since I've been basically 15 years old, I've been doing hardcore research on ancient writings. But when I had a near-death experience at 9, that is what guided me towards the afterlife research and the transport of souls, and all the ancient religions that describe deep, deep knowledge. And it has to do with plasma physics in the scientific aspect that we can look at it today. But what we're missing with the plasma physics and science is the spiritual aspect of that light, of that intelligence, and how it has to do with creation, sustenance, evolution, dissolution. All of this is involved with that. And there's divine intelligence guiding this. The fallen angels of the Bible are literally specific stars and suns that decided that literally were communicating with specific life on specific planets like Earth, and those sentient creatures were harnessing that information, that light, that plasma stream from that sun, and ruling on the planet as gods. And this breaks cosmic law. It goes against the flow of the universe, because the whole universe, or the brain of God, if you want to say, I believe that has a universal consciousness, right? And if specific suns start to break that law and start doing their own creation, that could look at like a fallen angel in that aspect, right? They're working on their own accord, and their sentient life harnessing it and guiding the evolution of species out of the the, the intelligence of God, right? Out of the flow of what the universe wanted, right? That's deep information. But you see, it has to do with the vibration of people. Our specific vibrations alter the emanations that we receive from the sun. And then we send those vibrations back out, altered by our own vibration. And it's absorbed by the moon and then reflected back down, altered by the moon's own vibration. So everything, all the emanations that come out of us, our thoughts, our vibration, it's going to be received by the sun and other stars. It's literally a network, right? And they're going to send down different bacterias, all this different stuff that's going to evolve our species according to our own vibration, what we're sending out. So when we have a greedy, materialistic vibration coming out of the population, the sun's going to send down bacterias and different things like that. That's going to evolve our species accordingly now. It's a network of plasma, and it all has to do with solar wind and magnetic field lines twisting and forming these loops. It's in many symbolism, and you'll see, even with the Knights Templars, the cross symbolism. Like originally, a lot of them, or the Anunnaki even have it. It's a sun in the middle with the ends of the cross coming out, right? Those are plasma columns coming out of the sun, right? When you see snakes wrapped around the god Eon, right? He has the lion face, right? And the human torso with a snake wrapped around him, and he's holding a torch at the top. Those are twisting magnetic field lines that twist around the sun god. This is what forms sunspots and coronal mass ejections, literally twisting magnetic field lines that burst in these loops that form and then burst, right? And snap. That's the torch of light expanding and bursting. They are all solar deities, and it's deep plasma knowledge within there. When you see twisting snakes or twisting ropes that form loops or things, that's all the symbolism is in there. Really deep knowledge, right? And the thing is that we've lost the spiritual aspect to our technology. In 2025, there will be offering 3 different meds, which are all frequency based for healing. It's all about sound and frequency. There's certain temples most of the temples in the ancient world are built about this, right? You can direct specific, even the pattern of the labyrinth that you see, that's a specific pattern of frequency, harmonics, right? And most of the temples are sound like Borobudur in Indonesia, right? That is one of the most incredible places in the world that has to do with that, right? And most of them, I think, that were at a high technology were literally guiding souls through the light with these frequencies, right? At the moment of death, specific mantras and hymns were sung throughout their whole life for sunrise and sunset, right? And they were guiding the pathway of their cosmic journey, anchoring in the sound of the cosmos through the language they were speaking in this earth dimension. And that was through Sanskrit. The old Sanskrit hymns and mantras are the sounds of Shiva's cosmic drum. Right? They anchor in the sound of the sun, the sound of the universe that makes everything move. Right? And when you see the snake symbolism, has to do with the electrical currents, the information moving through the plasma. Right? When you have solar wind coming from the sun, right? This is plasma, right? It's moving from the sun, and the electrical currents, they move like snakes. The information moving through the plasma, right? And you'll see a lot of times they have what's called the basilisk in Greek, or the asp, or the uraeus, or uraei in Egyptian. Right? It's the cobra type snake that's above the third eye of the pharaoh, but the third eye is, the pharaoh represents the sun. They'll also have that uraeus or asp on the sun, at the bottom of the sun or whatever on the sun. These not only represent sometimes magnetic field lines twisting and forming these sunspots that form these coronal mass ejection loops, because those are the ankhs that you see coming from the sun when the sun is passing down the ankh loop. Those are the coronal flares, plasma loops, solar prominence. However they're all different. Like the solar prominence ones are ones that last a long time. Coronal mass ejections and solar flares, not all solar flares turn into CMEs, but these are all plasma loops, right? Which are literally twisting magnetic field lines and spiraling electrons going in loops, right? That's all information coming directly from the sun. And it's carrying electrical currents moving through the plasma, right? So when you see that little snake, the asp, on the sun of ancient Egypt, that represents the sun, the information coming from the sun, going through the plasma waves. These are the Naga. The Naga live in the netherworld Patala, the cosmic waters, right? And their divine wisdom that's coming through the cosmic waters. And some of them are millions of years long. This is boats of plasma and the information traveling through it. When you see a nebula, that's a boat of millions of years of plasma, right? When they have it written right out like that in ancient Egypt, they call it a boat of millions of years. And it's a boat of the solar deities, right? It's very, very right there in front of you, right? So when you have the ancient god of the Vedas, one of the oldest gods of the solar ocean, actually, a lot of scholars just call it the god of the ocean, but a lot of the symbolism in Vedic that has to do with waters do not mean the waters in India, unfortunately. The Indian waters were named after cosmic coordinates, just like the Nile was, right? It was named after the celestial counterpart. So every sun is an ocean of plasma, its own ocean that form one big celestial ocean, right? So when you have specific suns are talked about all over, it's just like Orpheus, right? Orpheus plays the harp. They're not really talking about the harp originally. The harp is the constellation of Lyra, and he was playing streams of light from Lyra, right? And they were Thracian warriors. This is where the warrior Lyra mythology comes from, right? And a lot of times when you see, right now, we're actually receiving streams of light from a recurring nova that's in the Corona Borealis constellation, which is talked about in all ancient symbolism. When you see the cup or the crown, right, and they show the bull with the bull horns that go like this is a lot of times talking about different constellations, right? The Corona Borealis, you have the Corona Australis, and then the Corona, the Southern Crown and the Northern Crown, right? The Northern Crown has a recurring nova that comes like, it's doing it like every 80 years current, like right now. One just recently happened, right? We are receiving streams of light from that, right? And this is all in my books that I've been writing, and I've been putting the information out little by little for everybody, and other people have been working over that. I just wish people would give me the shout out sometimes, um, because it's taken years to get to these answers, and then people just share them immediately, like, oh, check this out. But yeah, it took me 30 years to come to this conclusions, right, in my own way, and people know when it's genuine. So, um, some of the incredible stuff that I have to share is gonna blow people's minds, and I'm gonna do two podcasts today. I was gonna do a space water podcast last night, but I didn't get a chance to do it. I'm gonna do my own space water podcast tonight as well. But yeah, let me walk back to the house so you guys can see some of the new products I've been working on as well. I just created a couple of tensor tools around the twisted copper, around some products that I've been working on as well. I just walked away from the house for a minute, but yeah, we have Katharina Sperling, and yeah, I mean, oh man, there's so much to share with you guys. It's just endless. And when it comes to streams of light, we're all receiving streams of light, right, from the sun during the day, right? And we receive them on an angle, and that angle of light is talked about in all the ancient writings, and people don't realize that we're communicating with the stars and the sun just by being alive. The vibrations that come out of us is absorbed by the sun, and the sun sends down what we need, right? When you see trees, like right here, those are just like our neural network, the dendrites and all of that, right? That's the tree is literally, that's its neural network. So what the tree needs to grow and to flourish, it's sending out that vibration, right? And then the sun sends down music in the form of electrons. And when it enters into our magnetosphere, it makes a beautiful sound like birds calling, which opens up the plant cells called stomata and makes it flourish, right? So this is just like the neural network in our brain that sends out the thoughts and our hopes and wishes for us to grow and to flourish, right? This is the same thing. There's patterns in nature that are all over. Similar patterns in our body you're going to see in rocks. Doesn't mean every rock is a body part, but you'll see similar patterns in nature, in the universe, that's in life, in all life, right? So when we have a specific vibration that's coming out of our network, coming out of the spinal current of who we are, the sun's going to send down music that's going to evolve us according to what we want to be. So when we're calling out to be more greedy and materialistic, this is what we're going to get genetically engineered towards. So there's specific bloodlines that know about this knowledge. And when they program the population to have a certain vibration, they know the stars, the sun, is going to harness that vibration and send down accordingly and evolve us accordingly. That's genetic manipulation that doesn't need a lab. It's in the universe, right? The genetic manipulation in the lab is just a microcosm of what God can do, right? And the ancient bloodlines are well aware of the vibration and the harmony of spheres. And what comes out of us is sent back down. So when we have a majority of people that are like becoming these genderless, robotic, like just materialistic, fake people, even online, you can't really show who you are, right? You got to portray everything's perfect and this and that. Like, what kind of crap is that? Even nowadays, you can't even have your own opinion. You have to be people's cheerleaders. Otherwise, you can't be on their team. You're an automatic enemy. If you're not like on team Raw or team whoever, team Chloe or team, whoever's in the chat room, I'm just using your name as a, you have to be like on their team and cheerlead everything they say. The minute you say one thing that's against them, well, doesn't even have to be against them. It could be opposite of their opinion. You're automatically an enemy now. You're trying to insult them or you're trying to, cause a problem. No, like there's a way of being rude, of course. But there's a way of people have their own opinions about things. I could be somebody's friend and not agree with what they're talking about. I have my own mind. I don't have to just copy what you're saying because because you're saying it. That's some crazy shit that's going on in this culture nowadays with the social media. Everybody's being held accountable for everything. And you're not allowed to have your own opinion. Yo, I don't live like that. I've never lived like that. And I won't live like that. I'm sorry. So, this is why I don't have a lot of people on my show that much. I don't just interview anybody just because it's popular or whatever. Right? No way. You gotta go into work. Who is that? Kiro Gachita. Kayo Gasita? Kayo Gasita 79. You're born in 79? Oh, you're younger than me. Maybe you're not born in 79, but maybe you are. But yeah, Katharina Sperling will be joining us today. I actually got to do some things. Really got a lot to do today. Let me show you real quick some stuff too. Shout out to Chloe as well. That's the first super chat I've gotten probably in over a year. People don't, for some reason, I'm giving out the most I don't know. I'm not gonna bring up people. I mentioned it the other day and I deleted the video because I shouldn't. But there's some people out there talking about similar topics as me that portray themselves as experts when they're not experts. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I'm damn more close to it than these people. Right? I don't like to say that, but I am pretty much an expert on the topics that I talk about. I've been doing it for 30 years. And the so-called experts that I interview, most of the time, I have more information about what they're experts on. So, what do you call it? But yeah, there's a lot of people that go on Gaia TV and entertainment channels, Ancient Aliens, Gaia, things like that are basically for entertainment. They're for to make money and to portray something, and they have a theory. They have by the end of the episode, everything's got to be ancient aliens or whatever. They don't give any credit to our ancient ancestors. Just anything that's high technology, it had to be from aliens. Right? Not realizing that the stars and the suns are creating life on this planet. Right? Everything is alien. It's coming from outside originally. It's being seeded here. And when certain vibrations come out of the planet, then the comets will literally communicate with the sun when the comets come in our inner solar system, and a plasma tail will come from the comet and it will leak out ancient bacteria that's been frozen in there. And a lot of the comets we have, let me share this information. And you guys, if you want to support me, you know where to support me. Also on PayPal. I have a free information website called themysticalspiral.com. I also have my store, themysticalspiralstore.com. But you can find some of this information that You got to look for them on my website, um, on themysticalspiral.com. I talk about the Kuiper Belt and the Oort cloud, and there are superstructures that are veiled as just massive rocks within the Kuiper Belt, and they are generating comets that have specific ancient bacteria within them that form viruses and evolved species. And those are sent out by intelligences, summoned, and put on specific mathematical orbits. And then the sun communicates it to leak out that ancient bacteria, and the solar wind sweeps it into the according planets. It's not happening randomly. The Kuiper Belt has a structure that is spinning like a spaceship, but it's veiled inside of a rock. NASA now calls it Arawan, which is the spelled, I think, Arawn or Wyn. It's the Welsh god of doom that they named it after, right? Arawan. This is a structure of ancient origin that has life on it, of all sorts of types. I've remote viewed it. I've talked about it, and there's other structures within the Oort cloud and the Kuiper Belt, and Chiron is something similar to this as well. So guys, join me at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're having. Oh, actually, let me show you guys real quick. I start getting into it, but yeah, you guys can find some of that information. You know, I've pulled in some, just doing crystal skull readings on people. I've pulled in some deep information about not just myself and the universe, but other people's cosmic journeys. And I was shown that there's all sorts of star forming regions where different life that is on Earth right now has come from. One of these places is the Dorado constellation, and there's a reason why it's shaped like the dolphin fish, the swordfish, because water life had been sent from there. Literally, some particles of life from these constellations, from these star-born, places, star-forming regions, we've received. Life has been seeded here. I think Venus was once a comet as well that carried sea life. Venus, I think, literally was a comet that was transporting bacteria that had for sea life to generate, right? So to form, to evolve. So there's certain what evidence do I have of this? All right, how about this? In the atmosphere of Venus, there are two very specific things that you find that is incredible, that scientists haven't combined yet to talk about. That why is this, and what must have been on this planet at one time, or transported on this planet, or it could have been a comet, right? So in the atmosphere of Venus, we have two things. One of them is ammonia, right? I've had Professor Chandra Wickramasinge on my show many, many times, and we talked about Venus has ammonia in the atmosphere. That's proven. Ammonia is a waste product of sea life. That's one evidence, right? What other thing do we have in the atmosphere that we find in Venus? An element that there's an element that I forget what the name of it is, but you guys can look it up. There's an element or a compound or some sort of gaseous thing or whatever it is that it's only found on one place on Earth that we have it, and that's in penguins' poop. There's a certain composition or bacteria or whatever it is, right? That's in the atmosphere of Venus that we've only just found on our planet in penguins' poop. How can that be, right? And then you also find that with ammonia in the atmosphere which is a waste product of sea life as well. So you got two things that are waste products of sea life in the atmosphere of Venus. Something that we only find in penguins' poop and ammonia, right? And I think it was Immanuel Velikovsky that says in his books that Venus was a comet as well, if I'm not mistaken. Comets that get put in I mean, yeah, and they are transporting ancient bacteria that generate life. for sure. I can't believe only one person has thumbed up this video. What should I do? Moon the bus driver coming by? Would that do it? All should be thumbs up. That's some intense information. Let me show you guys some of the things that I've been working on. My hands are a little dirty right now, so I'm not going to take it out. But this is a heavy gauge cubit. This is a prototype. But you know what? If someone wants to make a purchase today at my website, I give this out as a gift today. First person that makes a purchase at the mysticalspiralstore.com will receive this prototype. That's a good gift for today. Wow. So this is a heavy gauge royal cubit, twisted copper around rose quartz from Brazil. This is my prototype. The whole thing is hand twisted around there, and it's heavy gauge. Not easy to twist heavy gauge like that. And it's cut from the royal cubit measurement. Really cool. Spiral heavy gauge coil. This is a smaller medium gauge that I put around the look at that, the purple flash labradorite. This one is tightly wrapped around as well. Look at that. Really nice royal cubit as well. This is, this is really cool actually. These are prototypes. This is the purple flash labradorite. You guys can see, look at that. Let me get it at the angle. Come on. You guys saw the flash, I know you did. There it is, look at that. That's the purple flash on that whole side. And this is twisted copper, really incredible. It just pops with energy. Look at that purple flash all over it. So cool. Badass pendants right there. And then this is brand new. This is gold rutile, angel hair rutile in there. Look at that. This is a large piece too. Not even, this one's not up on my website right here. This is the golden healer, golden hair rutile in there. Really amazing. Really cool right there. Look at all that beautiful angel hair rutile in there. So cool. Got the tensor large tensor ring. We'll have Katharina Sperling on today. We got some ignited pyrite here. Really cool. Beautiful specimens of pyrite. Oh, we got something else for you too. I'll show you guys some cool stuff. You don't see this stuff anywhere. Oh, I got some good charms to hand out today for anybody ordering from my website. We got some Anubis charms to give out, Tree of Life charms to give out for gifts as well. And I'll be giving out this rose quartz for the first person that makes a purchase today. Rose quartz and copper. So do it right now. You'll get this. Incredible. That's my prototype, and it's really powerful. So check these out. You guys, this is calcite in there, and the other stuff is colorful selenite from Mexico. From Mexico. This is from Jalisco, just like the rainbow obsidian that I have. And you got calcite, beautiful calcite in there, very high quality. And this is colorful selenite. Best for, oh, Enlo, what's up? What's up, Enlo? You got to see the rest of the video before because I was just dropping some major information. Now we're showing some cool geology. Look at this colorful specimens of selenite and calcite. This one's going to be hard to part with because that's beautiful calcite in there as well. I love that. And look at that beautiful, colorful selenite. We got wholesale prices for everybody today. And the first person that buys something today, either right here in the live or on my website, will receive this heavy gauge royal cubit prototype copper tensor around rose quartz that I made today. Really cool. Really cool. We also making these ones too with the labradorite. Look at that. That's a thinner, a medium gauge royal cubit twisted tensor around the friggin' beautiful purple and blue flash labradorite, gray labradorite. And we have all amazing ones for you guys here of the highly sought after purple flash labradorite. It has all sorts of flash in there. Rainbow, purple, blue. Really cool here. Every one of them is filled with the flash on both sides. Just amazing. Incredible. So we got here colorful selenite with the calcite in there embedded. This is right from Mexico, right from the source. Yeah, just smoking two. Today, Enlo, today I'm having Katharina Sperling on my Space Water podcast right here at 1 p.m. These are the colorful. That's the biggest piece right here out today. I have another bigger piece inside, but we got some petrified wood out here too. Some nice pieces of petrified wood, and it comes with the certificate of that it comes from the Hopi Park, right? Because you're not allowed to take the petrified wood from the petrified forest, so you have to go to the certified Hopi dealers out there. Let me show you guys. I also have smaller pieces of petrified wood that I do pendants with, copper pendants, but these are some nice big pieces. It comes with the certificate here, and these are just some beautiful pieces of petrified wood. You get this package here for $45 plus shipping, and that's so worth it. These are heavy. It costs $10 to ship this because these are heavy. That's a great deal. Look at this ancient petrified wood, and look at these pieces here. Hard to even part with this stuff, man. These are really awesome. This one's dope. It's like an arrowhead almost. A thinking man, thinking hand. That's really cool. That's like a Bigfoot paw. But this one is the jammer right here, and this is one of the best stones for grounding, right? Look at that. Ancient petrified wood. Beautiful piece right here. And this that piece alone, I'll tell you what it weighs. Hold on. Where is my scale? Use this small scale. As long as it's under 2 pounds, I can weigh it here. My bigger scale's inside. Let me see. Oh wow, this is over 7 ounces, almost 7.5 ounces. Just this one right here is almost 7.5 ounces. Look at that, 7.47 ounces. Beautiful piece right here. Then these pyrite, I mean, this piece is too much for this, right? It's probably going to overload, right? So it's over 2 pounds, definitely. This one is almost 13 ounces for this one. This one is beautiful. And pyrite is huge, going up in price every day. It's definitely an asset and it's getting to be a precious metal, precious stone, you know, very semi-precious. And this is cubes. Those are all little cubes of pyrite. These are straight from Turkey. And I have some that are amazing that even have like the towers, quartz coming out of them and things like that. They could be polished up better too as well. These aren't polished. So you got all little cubes of pyrite in there. You got a little bit of a quartz towers in there. Some dolomite. Beautiful specimens here. And you know, we include the wooden stands for some of these. Who's Robert? You guys trying to put people onto someone else's channel during my live? That's cool though, I guess. It's all good, but yeah, as long as you guys stay with the realness. Look at this. Yeah, people got to get past their triggers, I get. But people should give recognition to the people that influence them, and I do. That's why I'm having Katharina Sperling on today, because I would have liked to have her husband on, but he's passed. He's passed on. He's the true Lord of the Rings, the Tensor Rings, right? So we definitely need each other. We are all, but it's nice to get credit for some of the things that you do sometimes, right? I don't need the pat on the back, but it's poisonous when someone else is portraying something that they got from someone else as their own, right? So what caused the climate issue is the vibrations of the planet, and the vibrations of the planet can be guided by specific things, right? Like bloodlines know this, like I talked about, and um, it has to do with plasma and what's being sent from the sun and specific stars. This is what causes climates. This is what the sun is what causes thunder, lightning, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. And when you have a coronal mass ejection, it's more powerful than thousands of volcanic eruptions put together. And it's all magnetism and electricity. Look at that. This is so dope. Look at this. This is a prototype. Somebody can get this today. I was going to keep this one for myself, because this was my prototype. But if anybody's interested in this as well, I'm willing to part with it. I was going to keep this one for myself, but this one is pretty powerful. I like it. I think someone should get that out there if they're looking for it. So if somebody wants to get that, I'll send them the package today with the 2 prototypes. You get the heavy gauge royal cubit. Ooh, I have some copper iron oxide that came off from these on my fingers. It's like rusty-ish. It's from the iron oxide on this. And this is from Mexico as well. This is Mexican crazy lace agate. This is the geosphere. Look at the sparkle. Look at how high quality this is. And I got all wholesale deals on these. Look at this. Beautiful. Very large sphere. How much does this weigh? Do I have a little... let me see. So that is 0.12. See if I could stand it on this real quick. So it's like 10 and a half, almost 10.6 ounces. Beautiful. And this could be a centerpiece. I'll include not one of these stands. These are I put for the pyrite piece here. But I'll include a nice stand with this as well, a sphere stand with this. Either a glass or a wood one. Really cool. There's so much inventory, you guys. We have, I don't know if you guys have seen the other day, but we got some of the most, you can't find these anywhere else in the world. These are master carved here. Fire matrix opal in the mother rhyolite. These are pendants as well. Coolest thing you'll ever wear. I wear one every day. I literally wear one every day. They're my favorite thing to wear. It's a gemstone of fire matrix opal in its mother rhyolite rock from Mexico. Look at that. I have several of these to pick from, and you can't get these anywhere else. And these are so highly detailed and master carved, and it's a lot harder to carve something small like this. Do you see the detail underneath the nose and above the teeth? People don't even do that kind of detail in big skulls. Look at that. Look at the detail in that. Well, I definitely know that I had to do with being part of the cult of Orpheus one time in another life, for sure. Look at this. Yeah, well, the universe rewards you with truth, answers, not with money. People that just get rewarded with money is because they're sending out vibrations of materialistic stuff. So when you see somebody just making money off the info and things like this, right? That's not because they're sending truth. That's not the example of what's success. So if you're saying someone is successful because they're selling a lot of books or because they're making a lot of money of what they're doing, that's not the definition of success. Is the you know? So money don't mean shit. Money don't mean shit. Money is nice. It's a materialistic realm because yeah, because it makes everything a lot more comfortable. But you know what? A lot of people that are rich, they ain't making a lot of discoveries. It's those people with their back against the wall and nothing to lose that those rich people take the ideas from. I had the chance. You guys, I don't know if you know my story, but I'm an old school Renaissance man. I'm just not making like copper stuff with my hands. I'm a musician. I know I've been saying my age a lot lately is because people have been calling me a kid and calling me young. Well, I'm going to be 46 years old in a month. I'm not young. All right. I've had a lot of life experience. I'm middle aged. I'm closer to 50 than I am 40. And I've been through a lot. I'm a father, a dad. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been a lot of things in my life. I've been on bad paths, good paths, troubled paths. I've helped a lot of people. I've gotten hurt by a lot of people as well. Right. I've been through a lot of life experience, and there's unfortunately a lot of people out there that don't realize some of the things that you know when they speak. They don't realize some of the things that I've witnessed and I've seen as well. They don't know who I am, right? So I'm a talent. I have a lot of talents as well that I don't do a lot here and talk about a lot on YouTube. And I could have been a serious songwriter and musician. I was in a band that was traveling around California. I've traveled across the country a couple of times on buses and vans, playing music with people. And I had a situation where I had to leave New York because like from friends were dying and things like that were happening, right? And I was out in Long Beach, California, Los Angeles, and I was basically like living in an apartment with a bunch of people that I met and making money by playing music on the street with my guitar, like as a street musician for like 2 years. And during my out there, I had an experience where someone literally came up to me that was a homeless man that I encountered previously. And then one night, I'm playing music all by myself in the park in the middle of the night, like 12:30 at night and midnight, after midnight. And all of a sudden, that homeless man appears to me dressed up, all all in a suit with his beard all trimmed up nice. I never even heard this guy speak before in my life. Before he would just growl at me, and all of a sudden now he's talking smooth and telling me that I can have anything. He came into money and that I can have anything I've ever wanted. He wants me to come work for him and be part of his record label and his club and play music, and I'll have anything I've ever wanted. All I got to do is say yes. I really truly feel like that if I would have said yes, I would have not even remembered the moment. I would have woke up on a completely different timeline with me in a completely different situation in life. They don't remember what transpired, but I literally had my grandmother's spirit with me that day. The night before that happened, I was walking in that same alley and I smelt my dead grandmother's perfume all over me. I walked into it. The very next night is when I had that experience with the old man. And something came over me when he told me, all you got to do is say yes. Something came over me where I stood up, looked at him, in his eyes and said, "Sir, thank you, but no thank you." And then I sat back down and started playing, and he literally was gone. I don't even know how he walked up. I never even heard him walk up because I was playing there looking at my lap, like with my eyes closed, playing. And he just appears to me. I know that experience was some sort of contract for my soul. I was going to be one of those musicians that were trendsetters. I had that magnetism growing up. You guys that just know me from YouTube don't really know. If people that know me from the past, they'll tell you. Like in high school, I was like, I'm not trying to brag, but like I had all the girls liked me. I was in all these different, I was voted most individualistic out of all these kids. Like, I was like playing at the homecoming with my band, right? I lived like a rock star in high school, basically, in a way. But I was very to myself. I was like uh, withdrawn from being popular, but like I was a trendsetter. It's a weird thing to be like that, to not want to be something like that, but because of your own little funky style, that people start gravitating towards you. And it's been like that. It's been a curse and a blessing my whole life because I'm able to make friends and things like that very quickly. I can adapt to places very easily, but it's a weird thing, right? So I had that magnetism about me. Like I used to draw crowds playing on the street in California, and other musicians would walk by and join in, and it would be like a whole thing, like a spiritual thing, kind of. So I stopped playing music publicly, basically, and pursuing music for money because of that experience. Because I was on the path to possibly be in a. I was playing a lot of different bands, and some of the bands uh, in LA, like Analog Driver and things like that were playing shows. I could have like ended up being probably in those bands as well, but I didn't even pursue it after that. Now I just write songs for myself and for the birds and for stuff. Like once in a while I'll come on YouTube and play, but it changed my whole pursuit of music because that was like my life when I was younger. But music creativity is how we tap into our free will. People need to realize that completely. That's where we have free will, is through our creativity. So don't forget that, everybody. Tune in 1 p.m. today. We have Katharina Sperling and Spiral out.